So, alright, we're trying something new. I'm making this video on, well, I call it the big phone, but it's a tablet. So, for those that don't know, we ended up buying our house, the house that we were renting and living in. So, I have spent a little bit of time doing wallpaper, pulling down wallpaper, and prepping the walls to paint. I used to paint for a company. We did finish carpentry and painting, and when I painted, I found it always easier because I know myself to wear a little tool belt setup. And as you can see, this is just, it's one pouch. It's very simple. Just they're pulling into the church across the street and it distracted me. But it's just a very simple, I think it might even be like an electrician's or a flooring pouch or something, but it's good for multiple different things, not just painting. I'll actually throw a bag on the other side sometimes if I'm doing drywalling and stuff. But for painting, I find it's easy just to carry a bunch of stuff around. Just an 1.5-inch paint scraper, a flexible one. And you can see it's got a wooden handle. So it's a different one than the one that's in my builder's bags. Oh, I'm sorry. This is probably going to make people nauseous, the way the camera's bouncing around. It's kind of strange. But it's just a flexible wooden-handled putty knife, and it's very useful. It'll ride right in here with, as you can see, I keep a little utility knife in here. Just a regular Stanley knife. It goes right in there. And that's good because if you're going to cut up rags or something as you're going, I'll actually keep a rag hanging on this. Depending on what I'm doing, it's either a rag that's wet so I can wipe off latex, or it's a dry rag that I can wipe up the oil paint with so that I'm not sprinkling paint thinner everywhere. I keep a little flashlight, little mag light, LED mag light, because I have problems with my eyes. So I can't always see textures and bumps and stuff. This, I put it up against, you put it up against the wall like, like that. And you can see shadows, so it helps to see if you miss the spot, or it helps to see if there's, bumps or waviness. Just a little cheapy 6-in-1 screwdriver. It's got the different heads on each side. You flip them around. They got Phillips head on the other side, and there's a number 1 Phillips, number 2 Phillips, and big and small straight bit, and then you can use the other parts as not drivers, but that's just for taking off switch plates and stuff like that, so I don't have to grab my other one. Little metal brush. This is actually a brand new one because the other one got all chewed up, so I threw a new one in. For cleaning anything that you need to clean as you're painting, because you find you got to clean quite a bit. This guy here, just a little painter's 5-in-1. Actually, they're really useful. This little thing, you can scrape off the paint rollers and stuff like that and conserve some paint. This, get it into anything and pick out, obviously, a scraper. It's a good little tool. It's nice. This same one, actually, will go in my bags for doing finished carpentry. When I'm doing finished carpentry, I like to have a 5-in-1. When I'm doing building, I like to have a straight one like this. You guys have seen that, though. It's a metal one. And over here, we just have an incredibly cheap multi-tool. I think it was 15, 16 bucks. I got it at an Army Navy store up in middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, right before the Kangamangas Highway. If you can believe it, I read an article, this cheap Schrade tool that's like 15 bucks a piece is actually what they issue to the Australian Defence Forces and the New Zealand, the Anzac forces. So, needless to say, I'm sure they buy themselves Leathermen and stuff like that. But this, I find, is good because you can just grab, it's mainly, I like it because it has the pliers on it. And, I mean, this stuff is okay. But it's a foldable pair of pliers that I jam in a little case because occasionally when you're painting, you'll need a pair of pliers to grab something, or there's little metal cutters in there, wire cutters so you can cut off like a finished nail or something. But for the most part, the only thing that's not pictured here in this little setup I got is I'll usually have a paintbrush here, a dusting brush, just an old paintbrush that I jam in here, and I can, you can dust out cobwebs and drywall dust or whatever from when you were sanding. But yeah, stripping wallpaper, I'll jam a like a razor scraper in this one. Putting up wallpaper is a whole nother thing that I really don't like to do, but I put different tools in here for that, and I'll hang another bag on the other side for that, and I'll put like I don't use the rollers and the I made all my smoothers for doing wallpaper because I needed them and I didn't want to go buy them, so I just made them out of wood. So I'll put a bag on the other side, and that's where that'll go for when I'm doing that. But I'm a very big believer in, if it's not in a tool belt, I'm going to lose it. So some people will look at this and they'll say, oh, that's kind of silly, he's got a painting tool belt. But whatever, it's a good little belt and it does what I need it to. So yeah, I know I haven't done a video in a long time, but here's a video on the stuff I've been using 10, 12 hours a day here, trying to get this house to what my wife and I want and my son wants. He just put up a bunch of LED stuff, LED lights in his room. They change colors and they do all sorts of things. But yeah, this is going to be on me tomorrow for the 3 coats of paint we're going to put up in that room, and going to use fans and a heater to dry it, and that's going to be the end of that room, hopefully. And, oh, wow, that was really close. And once that room is done, we are going to be going into... another Verizon truck. We're going to be going in the basement. And we're going to be putting together a woodworking shop down there. I have quite a bit of woodworking tools. Most of it's actually late 70s through mid-90s craftsman stuff that I've acquired from either YouTube or my pastor is actually retiring, the head pastor of the church that I go to, and he needed help. His wife is, I think it's her shoulder or her knee. She had surgery on a joint, a shoulder, a knee, an elbow, something, and she can't lift over whatever it is, something like 15 pounds or whatever with that limb, and he needed a lot of help packing stuff up. So he made a deal with me. He said, I'll give you this 2-horse Craftsman table saw and this 2-horse Craftsman radial arm saw. And he just had a bunch of stuff that he didn't want, that he ended up he didn't want to take it back to Pennsylvania with him, so he ended up giving it to me. But I helped him pack a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of stuff, and he that was the trade. He gave me a really nice table saw that I've since bolted a router table onto, and a radial arm saw. And now the plan is we're going to clean out the basement, the area that we've rented this house for the past 2 years. All of our stuff has just kind of accumulated in the basement. The stuff that you don't use every day, the stuff that we moved out of the old house in a hurry and just left in boxes. My son and I have been taking the past few days to basically clean that up, in addition to painting and doing all that. We're kind of running around like chickens with our heads cut off, but that's the way it is. So we've been doing that. We've been getting the basement ready, and what we're going to do is we're going to go through the back room, and we're going to patch all of the little cracks. There's little seepages and things that when I didn't own the house, it was okay. I didn't own the house. I'm not going to go put money into it. Now that I own it, I'm making the basement completely waterproof. But they're just little seepages here and there. So I'm going to patch all those with hydraulic cement, and then I'm going to go over the whole thing with Drylock paint. And that's going to be in the back room. And all of our camping stuff, our outdoor stuff, our fishing stuff, ice fishing stuff, my deer blind, everything, duck duck hunting decoys, all of our outdoor stuff, my scuba stuff, everything that's in the back, that's in that main room, is going to go onto shelves that my son and I build in this room that we're waterproofing. Then we're going to move into the main room. Going to waterproof all the walls with dry lock in there, and we're going to set up basically a woodworking shop. We have, like I said, over the years I've acquired quite a bit, and we're going to set up a woodworking shop down there so that we can do the furniture making and the cabinetry. And ideally, we're going to have a little area there where we can also do upholstery too, because we want to do my son and I are taking a class on doing upholstery, and ideally we want to be able to make our own cushions. So my wife is just getting home she went to Walgreens. I think she wants to dye her hair green. She's an ICU nurse, and COVID is coming back and people are getting kind of annoying, so we can't go on a vacation, but she can dye her hair. So anyway, I hope this video was interesting. I hope it was useful. I hope if nothing else you figure, hey, I can paint with a tool belt and not look like a weirdo. So I hope wherever you are this was useful and that God is with you. Thank you.